Welcome back, everyone. So, a little bit of backstory. We are back in my teacher planner. Okay, finally. This is my favorite spread. And I know I kind of just like style of spread, and I know I went on and on about it in my last video, but it's just so functional and so good, and it works so beautifully well for me, and I love it. It is my favorite. Anyway, so we're gonna use a combination of stickers from Let's Plan It and According to Allie, and then these die cuts that I found at Joann's. So, fun fact, the reason my background is my janky as all get out cutting mat is because I am moving, and I packed everything that we were gonna need for the move about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. So I've just been planning ahead. I had planned ahead, and I finally packed up all of my pens the other day. So I am really doing this spread with next to nothing. The only things I still have out, I have pens in black and white. I have my small sticker shop album where I keep my small business stickers. And then I happen to have these die cuts because I literally just bought them like 3 days ago. Okay? So that's the only reason I have this. But this is just a testament to how little you actually need to be able to decorative plan. I know it can seem really overwhelming when you first start out because you see people on YouTube and Instagram and this, that, and the other thing who have all of these pens and all of these stickers and all of this and all of that and all the other thing. You don't need it all. Yes, eventually you will most likely develop a collection. I have. But you don't need to go out and buy super crazy expensive markers and pens and stickers and all of this and that and the other thing. You can do it with basics, absolute basics. Recollections at Michael's has some awesome stickers. Paper Lane, which is where these die cuts came from at Joann's, they have some awesome planner stickers. And their books are relatively cheap, especially if you get them on coupon. You can get these die cuts. I think the package of die cuts retails for like $2.50. I think I got them at like 70% off or something like that. So I paid less than $1 for them, and they're so stinking cute. And then you can order a couple of sheets from a small business if you want to. You don't have to. Point is, you can start small. It is genuinely that easy. So on the topic of my boxes, I like to, even when I'm using this style of layout, I like to use boxes to signify appointments and work schedule and things that I have to do in a timely fashion. Because I had packed everything up, none of my pens were out, so I couldn't make any more cups. I could make black boxes. That was it. I didn't want black boxes. That felt really dark and heavy for this particular spread. So whenever I make boxes, I keep a page in my small business sticker album where I put all of my extras. So I went through that to see what I had, and I happened to have these two smaller boxes in this beautiful like muted smoky blue that worked really well with the butterflies and the stickers that I was using, and it came together really easily for me. Actually, most of my spreads don't come together this easily, but this one did, and it worked out really well. And I kind of love the way it turned out. But the reason that everything is packed up is because we bought a house. So we are in the process of moving. We're in the process of renovating, and everything is kind of intense right now. We're supposed to be out of our current place by the 31st. We got the keys to the new place on the 15th. And we had planned to replace the floors in the new house. We ripped up all of the flooring, and then very promptly discovered from our landlords that the tenant they have lined up to take our place, her house burned down. So she is currently living in a hotel with her 2 children. And at this, she's a teacher, and this week is back to school. So things are a little bit intense for her, so we are trying to get out. Today's Monday. I'm actually recording this the day that it needs to be posted. Today is Monday, August 22nd. This spread starts Monday, August 22nd. I'm going to get it on YouTube today. But we are trying to be completely out of the house by the end of the day, Wednesday, so that any changes that the landlords want to make, they'll have Thursday and Friday to do, and then this lady can move in on Saturday because we feel really bad for her. It really sucks being homeless. I've personally experienced that. It's a really tough place to be in. Fortunately for me, I didn't have children at the time. But it is also a very melancholy process for us because we had a lot of firsts in this house. It was the first place that my husband and I ever lived without a roommate. When we first got married, we had a roommate. I know it's weird. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you're newlyweds. You had a roommate? What the heck's wrong with you? We were living in a college town where it was really hard to find housing, and we had a friend who had a lot of health problems and a lot of allergies to like basic everyday things like peppermint. She was allergic to peppermint. She was allergic to tomato, corn, additives, derivatives of tomato, corn, and a bunch of things. She needed a place to live where she was going to have roommates who were conscientious and courteous about her sensitivities. And so we had agreed that we were going to let her stay with us. And when we moved out, but between the time that we had started living together and the time we moved out, she had met someone and they had gotten engaged. And so when our lease was up and we moved for James' new job, she moved into their new place, which is actually the apartment right downstairs from where she had been living with us, funny enough. And so from there, we went to the town we're in now. We changed towns, and there was such an intense housing shortage in the town that we live in. But my husband had a sister who lived here, so we were able to stay with her for the first few months that we were here. And that was really nice, but, you know, that was her and her husband and their 2/3 kids. She was pregnant, and so was I. And she gave birth in the beginning of March, and we moved out in the middle of April. So yeah, that was fun. And then I gave birth in June to my little girl. But the house we live in now that we're currently moving out of it's where we celebrated our first, second, and third wedding anniversaries. It's also where I brought my daughter home from the hospital. And so there's a lot of memories attached to it. And although we are very excited that this house is ours and we own it, and it's a work in progress, even though there's no flooring in it right now, because we're not going to be able to get the flooring in for a couple more weeks. It's the next right thing for us, even if it is a little bittersweet. Anyway, back to the topic of planning ahead. Oh, and I sound terrible because I have a sinus infection. I'm not like super sick. I feel fine. I just sound like trash. It's all good. Sorry that my voice is so funky today. Anyway, back to the topic of planning. We are using the Brie Deco and supplemental sheets from Brittany over at Let's Plan It, as well as the black lined dahlias from Allie at According to Allie. Sorry, you guys, I cannot seem to figure out how to turn off the sound on notifications and still be able to record my voiceovers. So when I get a notification on my laptop, that's what you hear. Okay. Stickers from Let's Plan It. Stickers from Allie. Allie, we're going to be using her dahlias, her monthly headings, and then her days of the week, as well as some numbers from her. And then these die cuts from Joann's. And I really just kind of love how it all came together. It's such a light and refreshing and just very soft, gentle spread. I like that because I didn't have access to a lot of my materials that I normally have access to, I was forced to try things that I wouldn't normally try. If I had been doing this myself with all of my material, well, obviously I did do this myself, but if I had been doing this with all of my materials available, I probably would have reached for my gold mild liner to make boxes. And this way I was making boxes I was forced to use my already made boxes, which I believe were made using the smoke blue mild liner. And I think they just worked really well. I mean, I really wanted to have more boxes than this because I wanted to put one in my labs, and I'll go over how I actually use this planner here in a minute. But I don't have my pen, so I couldn't do that. And I could have done black, but black just seemed really dark, very heavy for this spread. Anyway, so right here you see me outlining these upper 2 sections. So if you've hung out on my Instagram page, you've seen lots of spreads like this before. So I take the Happy Planner Teacher, which is what this is, has 5 sections. So each day is split into 5 sections. Actually, technically, the planner is split into 5 days with 7 sections each day. But because I move my days from the side axis to the top axis, I have it set up so that there's 5 sections in each day over 7 days. But I use the top 2 sections to plan my personal life. So that's where I put my to-dos, my errands, my work schedule, all of the stuff that I need to do in my day-to-day whatever life. It goes in that top section. And I segment it out by outlining it and turning it into just one larger section. And then for this semester, the next section down, so the first of the 3 smaller sections, is going to be for my biology class and the corresponding lab. So even though the lab is technically a different class, because I cannot pass one and also pass the other because of the way that the school does things, they are going together in the same section. The next section down will be my chem class and my corresponding chem lab, and then the bottom section will be my online classes, which at this point in the semester only consists of a sociology course. But I may add another course later in the semester because the school I go to has that as an option. Anyway, I keep it pretty simple. I wanted to have more boxes. I wanted to be able to put a box where my lab is and, you know, for the days that I have my lectures and things like that, but I didn't have the materials to do it, so it didn't happen. But I really do love the way this spread turned out, and it's a lot of fun. And I remember when I first started decorative planning, I felt so overwhelmed because I had lots of pens because I was really big into calligraphy at the time and brush lettering, and I've always been very creatively minded, very artistic, literally my entire life. But I didn't have stickers or washi. I had some washi, but not a ton. I didn't have stickers, and I didn't have fun papers and things like that. I know a lot of people will tear a paper to do a corner look like this. Part of what I like about the stickers from Let's Planet is that she has sticker sheets that have this as an option for the people who don't want to necessarily buy a whole collection of paper to be able to do this. Anyway, I just remember being so overwhelmed when I first started, and it's really hard not to feel intimidated when you go onto Instagram and Pinterest and TikTok and all the other social medias and you see everyone's huge collections of supplies, and you're just like, well, I can't do that, it's too expensive, or oh, I can't do that because I don't have this supply or that supply or the other thing. No, you're wrong. Don't talk down to yourself like that. That's my friend you're talking to. You can do it. Literally, I happen to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheets of stickers from small businesses, but you could go to Joann's and get like one of their Park Lane sticker books, or even get this. You could go get you could get like one of those big 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper pads, and you can cut out sections. Tracy, I think her last name is pronounced Ravel, on YouTube just did a new Bujo setup using this technique, and it is so beautiful. She did 1 paper pack. You can buy them on clearance all the time and come up with the most beautiful spreads. You can do it with a minimum amount of materials. It just means that you have to get creative about how you use your materials. So trust me, you can do it. And I've gotten used to having lots of materials, and I managed to pull it off here. Anyway, that's the spread. I actually super love it. The die cuts are a high gloss finish. They didn't photograph super well, but they are beautiful. And I hope you love it as much as I do. Anyway, that's all. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.